What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Curtain to Curtain. My name is Phoenix Clouden,
I am Lazuli.
and we are your adjacent theater kids. We are back diving into the seas. We are talking to. Mm, mm. I don't have an adjective to describe these two
I don't either.
without giving it away, at least.
They're
Like,
two. They are two musicals about travel.
there we go. Two traveling musicals.
Two traveling musicals.
So we are now in the seas, and that means we have officially come across a bona fide classic, and it is paired up with a recent,
Yeah.
uh, a newcomer to the field.
Came out in 2011.
Yeah, and I don't think we could have gotten them. We've had some pretty good pairings
This
so
is a pretty
far.
solid pairing.
This is a solid pairing.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's cool that they're both technically adaptations
Mm-hmm.
of novels. That's the
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
They both went from novel to film to musical, which I think is really funny.
Really impressed. Really impressed. So, the first one we are talking about is the bona fide classic, our very first Kander and Ebb musical on Curtain to Curtain. We are talking, of course, about the beloved classic Cabaret.
Put down the knitting, the book, and the broom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, oh chum. Come to the cabaret.
We are in some of the same position. You and I have never seen Cabaret,
Nope.
had never heard Cabaret, so it
Nothing.
was fresh
My
eyes.
indication of my inklings of Cabaret was that it was a good musical and that people like it.
Yes.
And based on the vibe of it, from what I had heard, I was thinking this was going to be more like Rocky Horror, or
Mhm.
what's the other one? I cannot remember the name of. That's on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna go
Little
with
Shop?
Yes, Little Shop
Yeah.
of Horrors. I was thinking it was gonna be like a soapbox type musical.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, the only song I had ever heard from Cabaret was the title song, Cabaret.
I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah, that was the only one I was slightly, at least, I had some passing knowledge of. And I figured it would, I thought it was, I guess my guess was closer to Chicago than
Yeah,
Little
that
Shop.
too. That was also in my head, was that it was kind of going to be like Chicago.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like very burlesque, very Moulin Rouge-esque
Yes.
type of thing.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, so, that's the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the vibe.
No. And then I Googled it, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Where? What?
Wasn't
Huh?
wasn't Rocky Horror, wasn't Chicago, wasn't
No.
Moulin Rouge, wasn't none of that.
Cabaret is a musical that is based off a play. I lied. Not a film. Play. It went novel to play to musical.
Yes.
But yeah, anyways, it is a musical set in Berlin right before Hitler took over. It is about a cabaret and the people in the cabaret and in the nearby boarding house of the
Yes.
cabaret.
Yeah,
And it
so
ends with I think the assumed probably takeover of Hitler as Chancellor of Germany. I think is when that would have been, is when he made it to Chancellor, not the head honcho yet.
Sure. So it's interesting, right? Like, yeah, so I had the thought of what it was, And then I read the description. I was like, oh, okay. Well, it could still kind of be that. It is not. But
Mm-hmm.
what I really enjoyed about it is that the cabaret itself is a place that is very free, very
Yes.
eccentric, very, very not of the world that it's in. Right? It's this
No.
little hidden pocket
Yeah.
of Berlin.
It's meant to be
And
like separate and devoid of all of that fun jazz on the outside.
right. And so the story is basically it's the end of the jazz age. The place that the cabaret is called the Kit Kat Club. There's a MC, Master of Ceremonies,
Mm-hmm.
and he's basically telling the story of the cabaret
Essentially, yeah.
and of its players and what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's interesting because I think what the musical is doing, and I'm not even sure if they intended this, but what the musical is doing is it's like, hey, here's this seedy, questionable place of decadence, but the real tragedy is what's happening outside of
Outside of it,
it.
yeah.
And I was like, I think that's a really cool way of
Mm-hmm.
doing that. Just looking at that perspective of
Yeah.
what was taking place in Berlin at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I hate to say this line, and it's gonna come off a little weird, but
God. Oh
I just
no.
want to preface this by saying it's not what you think. But I think stories around the Holocaust are very fascinating. Like they're always fascinating.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
worried. I
yeah.
was worried for a second there, bruh.
But yeah, I think that stories around major
Major historical events are super interesting.
yes.
Just
Yes.
yeah, like I've been meaning to watch Oppenheimer. I haven't seen it
Oppenheimer.
yet, but I've been meaning to watch it because I just want to know what the man was thinking about. I want to know what this guy who like has to deal with the fact that he created like the bomb
Yes.
TM and
Mhm.
everything and like the consequences of that. Not even just the initial consequences of like in Japan, but like the later
Yeah.
consequences of now that this thing is like exists and
Hmm.
everything. So yeah,
And
no, it's very interesting. I agree.
yeah, and I always find like because this last year in particular, like I saw a number of um Nazi era type of films,
Mhm.
stories. All of them fascinating in their own way. But like it's always interesting to me the angle that people take it from. So like you got one of the movies I saw was this movie called Irina's Vow, and it
Mhm.
was about a Jewish girl who has to work in the house of a Nazi officer,
Ooh.
and she stores a few of her Jewish friends in his basement without him knowing.
Mm.
That's a very
That's
fascinating.
cool.
It's a very interesting angle. Then
Mhm.
there's Zone of Interest, which is about a Nazi officer and his family living right next door to Auschwitz.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's
Oh.
right. That dynamic is always fascinating. And
Yeah.
then you have this, which is like, hey, it's right before the occupation. It's right before things go to crap, go to
Mhm.
absolute trash, and you are at the center of this, and you've got your own little pocket, everything where everything is what it can be, right?
Right.
You can just live your life the freest way possible. Everything is up for grabs. It's kind of just this wild free for all,
Mhm.
and it makes you go like, I think when you're coming into it, you're like, oh, this is cool. This is so hip and fresh and free and all of that.
Yeah.
And then as it ends, it sort of has this tragedy to it that you know that this place is going to disappear and vanish and it
Mhm.
will not be there, and what will be left is this
Right.
this whole
Yeah.
devastating thing. So I
Mhm.
I I love that about this, and I didn't get that on first listen. I
Yeah.
didn't get that on first listen, and part of it is I listened to the 1966
I
version.
only listened to the 1996 version, but I saw that there were other versions, and I was like, man, I should have listened to those too.
No, no, you shouldn't have.
Oh
No, you shouldn't.
no.
Well, see, what's
Okay.
interesting about Cabaret is so the play was in 1950. Sorry, the novel was in 1939.
Correct.
The play was in 1951.
Mm-hmm.
The
This was in
musical
1965.
was in 1965, and the film was in 1972. What has been interesting about what they did with Cabaret is like, uh, with every new iteration, because this thing has been, I think it's one of the longest running musicals in Broadway history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Up there
this
with
thing,
Phantom probably.
yeah, this thing ran for the original run ran for
Mm-hmm.
1,166 performances.
Ooh,
Yeah,
damn.
like that's no joke. That's the
Jeez.
original run, and then it's had
Yeah.
multiple ones after that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Pretty sure it's on Broadway right now.
yeah, pretty sure it actually is. It's coming back. Um, yeah, it is, and I can't wait to talk about that. But anyway, um, so the what they did after the movie came out is they added new songs in the movie,
Oh, okay.
and some of the songs that were originally in the musical, they either moved around
Mm-hmm.
or they swapped out for the songs that they put in the movie.
Okay.
So like, there's a couple of songs I know because I listened to the '66 and I listened to the '98. I know the telephone song is not in there.
Mm-hmm.
The telephone song isn't in there. It couldn't please me more. I don't think that's in there. Tomorrow belongs to me is only just the second one. It's not the reprise. So like, it's very different things in there. Miskite is only in the '66 version. They took it out for the
Mm-hmm.
'98. So like, yeah, it's different songs that are in there that are out. But yeah, to me, the '66 version, it was difficult to understand the story in that version.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it
I
was,
had to really rely on Wikipedia to really get
and even then,
a hold on like what was going on, and even then I was like, I want to feel for these characters, but I just can't.
yeah, it was like I had no idea who was speaking.
Yeah.
Like that was the key thing. I had no idea who was speaking. I had no idea what they were speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
I was just very very lost. The '98 version, I think it's the '98 version, cleans up so much. Cleans up
Okay.
so much of what the story is, what who's speaking, why,
Mm-hmm.
what, and like I was able to actually picture it. I was like, oh, now I get it. Now I see where
Right.
everything is
Okay.
going.
I see. So I should listen to the '98 version.
um, yeah, I would say yeah because they also do one other thing that I think was really really cool. I think it might be the same one. No, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I listened to the '93 version. I did listen to the
Got
'93
it.
version.
Got
Okay,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
'93.
Yeah, so it was the right one. So the '93 version. Because what they did was Alan Cumming
Mm-hmm.
played the MC.
Okay.
And originally, the MC was played by Joel Grey. Now,
Yes.
Joel Grey's fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. Legend of Broadway. Insane.
Mm-hmm.
But when it switched to Alan Cumming, they did one thing that I felt was key for that character. They made his sexuality less ambiguous. Like
Oh, okay.
they made it so that that he was driven by, like, not driven by, but like he wasn't hiding it pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. And
Okay.
I think that just helped paint the picture for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
a great deal for that.
Oh,
So like,
definitely, because then that means that he would have also been targeted by the occupation as well. And
exactly.
I
Yeah.
I see what they were cooking. They was cooking.
They was cooking. Yeah. So like, and yeah, this like the '66 version, like the song, it's got so, like, I'm not saying that these songs aren't bad. I mean, I'm not
No.
saying that they're bad, but like they're so weird because they just throw so many things in
Yeah,
there. Like I
they're
was like,
very weird and kind of disjointed.
yeah, yeah. I was like, I kept getting lost, and I was like, I don't know where we're at
Yeah.
in this story.
Right.
But yeah, the '93 version cleans it up, and I mean cleans it up really really well to the
All
point where,
right.
because I was like, after listening to the '66 version, I was prepared to come on here and trash Cabaret. I was like, I was about to be like, yeah, man, I don't know, like, I don't know what
I
you
don't
guys are
get
talking
it.
about. Like, I
Yeah.
don't get it. This is the worst I've heard all day. But yeah, like listening to the 93rd, I was like, oh, that's it.
Mhm.
And that just comes off.
That's the appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just finally understanding the story and what everybody is doing and why they are doing it.
Mhm.
It works. It
Yeah.
freaking works. And the music, that was another thing. The music got so much better.
I believe it
Once
because
I
like
once I understood the story, it got so much better.
Mhm.
Cause I'm like, one of my favorite songs is "Don't Tell Mama."
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. It's a very fun, playful song.
Yeah.
But like, I love like some of the lines towards the end. Like, you can tell my daddy he comes here every night, but don't tell
Oh
my
yeah.
mom. like you can tell my grandma she just joined the line.
Right.
But I'm like, I just thought that was super funny.
Mhm.
It just helped clear everything up, man. And I knew where everything was.
Mhm.
Was there any other songs that stood out for you?
So I only listened, like I said, I only listened to the 65 version, but I think that Married was really sweet
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and I was really upset when they were like, we're not doing the marriage anymore because of the Nazis being the Nazis,
Right.
and I was like, no! I know it's for both of your safeties, but no!
Yeah.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for
You were all rooting for you. Yeah, I'm looking through it and I'm just like, there's so many songs that they cut. Why Should I Wake Up?
Mhm.
Sitting Pretty, Mesquite, Married Has a Reprise. I Don't Care Much is also like taken out. So it's like, yeah, man, they cut a lot, but it cleans it up so much better. It does
I
clean
believe
it up
it,
much
yeah.
better. The reason that I think so once I gathered the actual story and the music fit and everything worked, what I was most impressed by was the people who have played these roles. like
Oh, yeah.
like so Cabaret has been around for a
very long time, so there's been a lot of people in it.
Yes, like you want to talk about a show that has probably the greatest, I don't know for sure, but definitely of the ones that we've done, the greatest lineage of actors
Yeah.
who have ever graced the stage has done Cabaret. Like
I'm looking now and I'm like, yeah.
It's insane.
They got a yeah.
This lineup's insane. It's Joe Gray. You got Judi Dench at one point. You got Alan Cumming is one. You have Natasha Richardson, Neil Patrick Harris.
I didn't even see his name. Where is he?
Exactly. It's so many crazy people.
Yeah.
Then you had Jennifer Jason Leigh, Susan Egan, Gina Gershon, Jane Leaves, Molly Ringwald, Brooke Shields, Leah Thompson, Michael C. Hall, Raul Esparza, Adam Pascal, John Stamos, Emma Stone as well. What? Like, it's insane. Like, this is crazy. And the 2024 revival, I have to get to this thing. I have to to be there because it is starring Eddie Redmayne as the MC and Jessie Buckley as Sally Boyles. Oh my God. Oh my god, I gotta see that thing.
Yeah,
That is. Oh my goodness, that is gonna be fantastic. That is.
definitely.
So yeah, Cabaret won me over.
Yeah, no, I gotta listen to the 93 version.
Yeah,
I
and I
gotta
mean,
get on it.
like now, I really want to see the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to see the movie because I just want to match. I want to see if the visuals that I got in my head
Right, match.
match with what's actually put on screen.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just feel like the story itself is really, really strong, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, like I cannot wait to see this thing live. I just
Mhm.
cannot wait to see it live. It's going to be very, very good. So quite a turnaround from a musical that I was like, oh, I don't know if this is it. Like,
Yeah, to like,
to-
ah, fuck yeah, this
yeah,
is it.
this is it. I was like, yeah, I 100% get why Cabaret has the reputation that it has.
Oh yeah.
100% get it.
Mhm.
So final word. What are you giving
I
Cabaret?
am gonna give it a B, and it's a tentative B. It's a tentative B
Uh huh.
because I haven't actually. You know what? No, I'll change it to an A minus out of
Okay.
respect.
Okay.
But it's tentative because I haven't listened to the 93 version.
Yeah.
So my only context is the 1965 version, which is still good.
Yes.
Still good.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have that oomph to it, you know? Especially hearing you describe the 93 version, I'm like, okay, I
just
need that
flows
version.
better. Yeah, it flows much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I this is a solid A plus for me. Like,
Mhm.
this is a solid A plus for me. Just won me over like completely.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it can go higher. Maybe there's an A plus plus when I finally
There's
see it.
S. There's S. If we want
Yeah,
to go by tier ranking,
yeah,
tier list system, there is an S.
yeah. If it could go to S, like I'll just put it like that. It could definitely go to S, cause man,
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed. But there you have it. So
Speaking of movies.
speaking of movies, now this was interesting, right? Because like
Yeah.
I said, I watched I listened to the '66 version of Cabaret, and I was very like, I don't know about this. And then I got to follow that up with Catch Me If You Can, the
The
musical.
music.
Live in living color. Let me take you for a ride. Yes, I'm live in living color. So sit back and let me be your TV guide.
Cool.
And I
Yeah.
was like, and it was like a breath of fresh air. I was like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my god. I was like, oh, I
I-
love this thing.
It's very fun. I watched the movie.
Woo!
I watched the movie.
Yeah.
So I have the movie content. For those who don't know, here's a little quick plot synopsis. We got our dude Frank Abagnale William Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, Frank William Abagnale Jr. Apologies, Abagnale is the last name.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the 1960s. And his parents are getting a divorce. And he's freaking out, so he runs away. And his dad has kind of sort of not necessarily taught him how to be a con man, but encouraged him to be a con man.
Pretty
Like,
much.
really encouraged it. Like his parents are getting divorced because his dad did tax fraud
Right.
and is no longer rich. His wife he met during the war in France, by the way. That's an important plot detail.
Right.
Anyways, he runs away and starts faking a bunch of checks and racking up a bunch of, fraud. fraud money
Mm-hmm.
and everything, because in the 60s, while it was still difficult to fake checks, it was much easier than it would be now to
Right.
fake a check. And in the movie, this man goes hard, and it's not really just shown in like the musical at all, but like this
Right.
man goes into it to fake these checks.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes into it. Anyways, he becomes a fake co-pilot, for Pan American Airlines and stuff, and then he gets bored of that, so then he becomes a doctor. Tries to marry one of the nurses. At the engagement party, he gets caught by Carl Hanratty, who's been chasing him this entire time. He's from the FBI, and he's been chasing him this entire time. And so he runs away at the engagement party and stuff. And so then he goes back to being a pilot for a little bit, and then bunkers down in France, where his mother is from, and then gets caught there.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire movie is basically Hanratty just asking him questions about how he did all of this. But the main through line question is, how did you cheat the bar exam? And at the end of it, we find out he did not cheat. He studied.
He didn't cheat. He studied.
He studied. Anyways, he goes to jail for like 7 years. Or he was sentenced to jail for 15, only got 7 for good behavior, and Hanratty took him to the FBI and made him work the rest of his sentence for the FBI in their check fraud division, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the movie, they like ended up being really good friends. But according to the movie, this man like made checks that I don't know if they're still in use now, but they were in use in 2000. He made checks that were in, actual checks for banks and shit that were in use in 2000, which I think is so cool.
That makes total sense, actually.
Yeah, because of course he would know how to, like, secure them because he made fraudulent checks and shit.
Yeah.
He knows how to look for, like, fake ones and all that fun jazz.
Oh, man.
So,
What was crazy to me...
And the movie had Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks.
Young Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, yeah.
Great freaking movie. Like, what...
Solid movie.
When I saw this on our list, I was like, what? Like, they made a musical out of Catch Me If You Can? But at the same time, I was like, because I'm a firm believer that every movie is better as a musical. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, well let's see what they got. And a while back we did Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes, it is very much giving that vibe.
Yeah.
But
And like
slightly different because they're not a couple or anything.
Right.
But it is still this dynamic of them kind of sort of being cheeky towards each other and everything.
And chasing after each other. And like what was what stood out to me, I remember distinctly when we talked about Bonnie and Clyde, it was like, man, just the musical diversity of that.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can, like, I love that, like, they have, like, specific genres tied to characters.
Yes.
Like, Frank Jr.'s genre is very much big band music.
Big band, yeah.
Like, it's very much big band stuff. But then Carl kind of sort of has, like, you know, gospel, you know, soul, churchy type of, like, he's gonna take you to church and everything. And, like, it's fun to listen to. There's some, like, slow jazz in there.
It was
like,
some
there's,
good stuff.
Like, slow jazz and, like, stuff like Take 5 in there.
Yeah.
And, like, Bossa Nova. They fit Bossa Nova in here.
That was to me, I was like, that's all I kept thinking of, was because very much like Bonnie and Clyde, where it's like, oh, we're going from jazz to blues to gospel to this the old school standards and stuff.
It makes sense. I would say it makes even more sense for this musical than it does Bonnie and Clyde, because Frank's fucking traveling everywhere, especially like in the second half of the movie when he goes international. This man's going all around Europe.
Yeah.
Terrorizing these bankers and shit.
And
before he lands in France.
Right. It's crazy to me because I'm like, That was so when I listened to the '66 Cabaret, I was at work, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
maybe that's why I wasn't feeling it, 'cause maybe I was
Mm-hmm.
distracted or whatever. But then I listened to Catch Me If You Can at work, and I was like, no, I wasn't distracted. It just wasn't hitting. Like
Yeah.
it just wasn't hitting. I was literally at work like chopping cucumbers, like, oh, like yes, like. I'm like just a vibe, bro. I was like,
Yeah, like it's
this thing
fun.
has a vibe,
It
and I
is.
was
It
like,
was fun. I enjoyed it so much.
yeah,
I
like
enjoyed this. I enjoyed the movie. I want to watch. I maybe will want to read the novel. I want to read this man's biography.
yeah,
Like, I am so curious.
because it's a
Um,
crazy story. Like it really
it
is a genuinely
is.
crazy story that somebody was able to do all of this stuff and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, little live on the outside of the law, but it was really just super cool that he was able to get away with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I dug the heck out of this.
Yeah.
That was another shocker. I was like, oh my god, am I gonna go on curtain to curtain and be like, I like Catch Me If You Can more than Cabaret. Oh Lord,
Oh Lord!
I
Oh
was
no!
like, oh
Don't let him
no.
hear
I
that.
was like, is it gonna be that kind of show? We gonna
Oh
get canceled early.
no! um, Catch Me If You Can was nominated for 4 Tonys in
Mm,
2011. 2011, the year that I'm pretty sure Book of Mormon won. So
ah,
obviously it didn't win,
no.
but it did win Best Actor
Mm-hmm.
for Carl
Leo Butts.
Norbert. Yeah, uh, accent.
Yeah. Which is a
Norbert.
little weird. I mean, okay, that's a
Yeah,
little weird. So
it's
wait,
very interesting. I
he
feel
was
like,
nominated, but Aaron Tveit wasn't nominated.
hmm even though I
Hmm.
think Aaron Tveit should have gotten it, because he, when I was listening to Aaron Tveit, I was very much being reminded of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Very much, very much.
Very much being reminded
Like,
of
like
Leo.
I was
Like,
listening to this and I was like, are they sure they didn't get Leo and Tom to sing on this? Like
yeah,
they
because
were
they very much
very,
embody these
yeah,
characters. And that's just from listening to the musical.
right.
I am sure, like, at actually watching it being staged and shit, they probably were popping off
Oh
with
man,
these
no doubt
characterizations and
about
shit.
it.
Oh my goodness.
No doubt about it. Like, and
Just,
just this is why I say that every movie should be made into a musical because I loved everything they did in the movie. Loved everything they
yes.
did. But
Yes.
the possibility that you could take that and make it so much bigger and grander
Oh,
on a
yeah.
musical level, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're right. You're spot on. I know on stage this thing
Yeah.
was
And it's a shame that it didn't really do well here in the US.
yeah, that's crazy.
Like there was a tryout in 2009, and then it was in Broadway in 2011, and then it toured in 2012 and 2013, and that's it. Hasn't been in the US since, but it's been doing great internationally.
Internationally.
Yeah, they've had productions in South Korea, Japan, Australia, in 2023, New Zealand, Poland, and Germany all had productions.
Wow.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, same. Like, same.
We need to bring this back.
I have to imagine that it's got to come back
It's
at some
gotta
point
come back.
because this was just really cool.
Yeah,
Like,
it was just
it
really
was
fun.
really fun, musically just so
Mhm.
good. And like we said before when we were talking about Bring It On, like
This is a good movie adaptation.
just all you got to do is stick to the story. Like
Stick to the story.
stick to the story.
Stick to the story. And it's not even like they even just stuck to it. They like pinpointed all like the various points and stuff. Like they brought in the whole stupid fucking mouse making butter out of cream story.
Butter out of cream.
That coming up. And the whole thing of like where you going, kid, kind of
Mhm.
like, yeah, just fly away, where you going, you know, and all that
Man.
fun jazz, and just how like all the recurring things that kept happening in the movie they brought to the musical, which I thought was great.
Yeah, that's the best part about it is when you can take what's in the dialogue, what's in the film, and be like, that's where that's where I'm gonna put the song. That's where I'm gonna take that concept and make it into a song.
Yeah.
Musical, very good. Any songs in particular that stood out to you?
Oh my god. I
Yeah.
having to pick one, no thank you.
Bruh.
Anyways,
You know
pinstripes
what?
are all that they see.
Was
Good
it?
shit. Pinstripes are all that they see.
Mm-hmm.
Good shit. I'm so glad they made that into like a moment,
Yeah.
because that's just like a simple little conversation that they have. Like it's just like a quick like 2-minute conversation. Like it's barely there in the movie. And it's like not really brought up again, although that kind of being the entire point of the like,
Right.
you know, movie,
Right.
you know, is that
It's a very
not-
important theme of this entire story.
Yeah, but like it's not really like that line, the pinstripes being all they see, isn't really brought up too much.
Right.
I think Frank Jr. says it once to Carl when he's asking about something.
Mhm.
I don't like over the phone or whatever. Something like that. But like that's it. But like I'm so glad they like made it a moment. Cause like good song. Not to be a little nerd. I like Jet Set.
Yeah.
I don't like the mix on it.
Okay. Okay.
I don't like the mix.
I can see that. I can see that.
It's too much in the high end.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little piercing, and I know that's the point of it, because it's all like girls, and they're
It's
all
all
like,
high
supposed
voices.
to be excited and stuff.
Right.
But they could have done it better. In 2011, they could have done it better.
Yeah.
They could have done a better mix on that. IMO. Anyways, like there's so many good
There's
songs.
so many. Look.
Like Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Goodbye is so good.
Yeah.
Like, Little Boy Be a Man. Like
That's a great one. That's a
like
great
there are so many good songs in this fucking
Dude.
musical.
Dude, like I was listening to it, like every time a new song went on, I was like, is this a bop too? Like really? Like what is this all about?
Bop
Like,
after bop after bop.
I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like
It's so
you know what's-
good.
you know what's even crazier? Like you named like 4 songs right there, and you still didn't touch on any of my favorites. Like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's how good this thing is. Like
it's just like oh my god, like it's just so good.
so good. So good. Like I love Don't Break All
Somebody
the Rules.
else's skin. Oh my god, sorry. I'm listening to it right now,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what is Frank's I Want song? Where is it? I don't remember the
Somebody
name of
else's
it.
skin is
His
great.
I Want song, good. Brenda's I Want song of Fly,
So
Fly
good.
Away.
So
Such a
good.
beautiful ballad. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
What was killing me? I'm like,
Beautiful.
bro, like the ballads are hard. Like they are hard out here. I'm like,
So good.
oh my god, yeah, dude, yeah, I'm in love with this. This thing is
Such a
crazy good.
musical.
Like, yeah, like I said, like you, like seriously, you just named like 6 songs. You still haven't touched on my favorite. It's crazy right now. Like, bro, Don't Break the Rules is
Yes!
so freaking good.
Yes.
I love it so
I
much.
love how it's such a good adaptation of like the gospel genre
Yes.
and
Yeah.
everything. Like he's like God's keeping them tabs.
It's so good. It's such a perfect like example of his character.
Yes,
Of what he's about.
Because in the movie, all we get is like him and like his other 2 dudes as they're like staking out the hotel. He's like, they're like, oh, you seem pretty serious. Do you make jokes? And he's like, yeah, I make jokes, knock knock. Who's there? Go fuck yourself. Like that's all you get, like in terms of like what's supposed to be happening for that.
Right.
So I'm so glad they like decided to be like, okay, instead of just having him telling the other two to go fuck themselves, which I hope that they still do that.
Still keep it in there.
I hope they still keep it in there because it's pretty fucking funny. But like, solid song.
Solid song. I love Seven Wonders.
Mm-hmm.
Seven Wonders is so good. I love that.
It's a very sweet song.
Don't Be a Stranger.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Such a good duet.
Oh my god, it's so buttery. It's so buttery. That's why I love it. Speaking of butter out of cream. Butter out of cream, man. I was like, yo, oh my god, I loved every song in here.
Oh yeah.
And I love Live in Living Color. Like that is such a
good
pop.
Such a good intro.
Such a good intro, and I'm just like, man,
like you immediately understand who this kid is.
Yeah.
Rip, you're like, all right.
Man.
This
So like,
kid, man, and you know what? You feel for him. You're like, this kid's a fucking asshole. And then by the end of the movie, you're like, God damn it, he got caught. Like,
right. You're like, oh shoot, oh man, he finally got him.
This scene, oh my god, the scene where he gets caught is so intense.
Yeah.
And everything because he's like in Montmartre. He's like cornered essentially, and like the entire time he's trying to call out Carl's bluff by saying nobody's out there because the entire time he's like, they're gonna kill you when you get out there if you're not in cuffs. Like they're gonna fucking murk your ass. And and he's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. No, I'm going to go out the front door. I'm going to leave. Bye. And he's like, they're going to kill you.
They're going to kill you.
They're going to kill you, my guy. Like, and everything. And at first, you're like, oh, he did call out the bluff because nobody's there at first. And then they all pull up, and he's like,
oh.
Damn.
All right. Hold on one second. Let's put a bow on it.
Yeah.
We glossed over this one quite a bit. For good reason.
Moral of the story is good movie, good musical.
Yeah, and if you
good musical. They're both good musicals. That's
good
the moral
musical.
of the story today. They're both really good musicals.
Which I think it might be a first.
It might that we had two musicals that we both were like yes, both of them.
Like, yeah, it's been ones where, like I've liked both, or you've liked both.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly it's been,
one or the other. Or neither.
Or they both start.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is a first where they're both amazing. Yeah. Like, they're both really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I already added Catch Me If You
Understandable.
Yeah, man.
It's just,
I had to.
Yeah. What's your grade?
Going with another A+, man.
I agree. I concur.
Yeah. A+, man.
This thing. It's fire.
It was so good.
It's good as fuck.
I was listening.
Everybody needs to go watch the movie. And then go listen to this musical.
It is so good because it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me because especially after Bring It On. Like, I was like another movie being turned into a musical. Please tell me they did it right.
Yeah.
Oh, they did it right. They not only did it right, they gave it justice. Mark Shaman, the writer on this, along with Scott Whitman and Terrence McNally.
They need their asses ate for this. Ate down.
I hope you've received your flowers. If not, here you go. Apparently, Lazuli has more in mind for you.
I love seeing his reaction when I say that.
Oh my god. So yeah. Do
we've
good
got
work.
yeah, good work. Keep doing keep those the writers need to do more good work. Do more.
Good. Hey, if you
Um,
want your ass ate, do good work.
Yeah. Next week we have another interesting combo.
Okay.
It is cats.
Oh no.
We've reached cats.
Oh no.
However, it is being followed by Chicago, so we are okay.
Okay. Oh, that is a
We
weird.
are okay.
So we go from Andrew Lloyd Webber right back into another Kander and Ebb musical.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay.
And I am biased towards Chicago. I have listened to the musical. I know it. I know the movie. Good shit. Good
Seen
shit.
it live.
I've seen it high school, but live.
Yeah. I've seen several versions of it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
very
So we're pretty biased towards Chicago.
But Cats, I'm
Cats, I know nothing about.
coming into fresh. So
I've been told that we should listen to the movie version by my one friend who actually does really likes Cats. She has said to watch the movie, which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
But I will do so because I trust her opinion.
Oh
Deeply.
man.
I trust her opinion deeply. So I will be listening to the original and watching the movie.
Okay.
I'm not excited to see Jason Derulo in Catwoman
Jason Derulo.
and Jennifer Hudson in Catform and Taylor Swift in Catform.
Yeah.
And I forget the others that are in it, but Idris Elba. Idris Elba's in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Is it no? It's what's the one really annoying British guy that no one likes that has his own talk show?
James
Corden. James Corden. He's in there. Not excited to see him.
Not excited.
But
it'll be interesting.
it will be interesting, and I'm curious.
Curious is the right word.
I am curious.
We are still in the seas. Will that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
So
will
we,
not close out the seas. We got one more set of seas after that, and then we are free.
Awesome. Well, these set of seas have been utterly fantastic.
They have been very fun.
I think first time
and I
ever.
think our next set of seas after Cats in Chicago is going to be pretty good too because we have Come From Away and Company next. So the seas. If Cats doesn't disappoint, I think we're a couple of sea dogs.
Man, we might be sea dogs.
That's a puppet history reference for y'all. I do love puppet history. But we might be a couple of sea dogs.
Sea dog.
Or.
Oh, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Needs a nap.
I want to scratch my face so bad and I cannot.
My name is Phoenix Cloudon.
I'm Lazuli.
We have been your adjacent theater kids. We are out of here. Good night.
Night, y'all.